evening, my friends. This is Paul, and I am back on YouTube, and hopefully this will be a really good project. Usually what I like to do on Facebook every year since 2011 has been to record the greatest memories of my year. However, Facebook got rid of Facebook Notes in 2020 only to replace them with Facebook Story, which only allowed me to have it for a couple of days, which that's no fun. I want people to be able to look back on the best memories. So I decided to migrate over to YouTube. So this won't be in any particular order. These are just going to be my 16 amazing memories in 2021. We've got a lot of really cool guest appearances, some of which couldn't even be in the video because of time constraints, technical limitations. But rest assured, if I need to make a part 2, I will, because man have I got some cool people on board this project. So without further ado, let's get into the reminiscing! I was initially a bit skeptical of Doki Doki Literature Club. I had heard great things about the PC version, but at the same time, I was thinking to myself, man, it's just a dating simulator, and I hate those games. They're all about just cute women and big proportions and all that kind of over-sexualized stuff. But this was a reasonable price on the Switch, and I had heard good things about it, so I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And I ended up loving this game so much that it's one of the few 2021 games that I've actually played over and over again because it's short, and it's really easy to digest the story because it's not very complicated and world-involving like Neo the World Ends With You is. So one thing that I particularly liked about Doki Doki Literature Club is it had a lot of really cool life lessons to learn. Like, I could use a lot of what the girls were saying and apply it to my own life because I could relate to some of their struggles. I also found that it was a neat satire of the dating game genre to begin with a lot of really cool moments that I don't want to spoil. It's not for the faint of heart. I personally found it more hilarious than scary. But I definitely think that mature audiences should be involved in this game, and they shouldn't be having the young kids be playing this whatsoever. I tried really hard to make the 4 girls in Smash Brothers. I don't know how well I did. I tried to think of their hair color and their height first and foremost. So hopefully you think these were optimal choices, and hopefully you'll get to see an honorable mention of Doki Doki Literature Club Plus in my Best Games 2021 video, hint hint. After I moved to a new house, that also meant that I needed to find a new church. I don't want to say what church we found, since, I don't want to give away my exact location to the whole world, but suffice to say that the church that we found is absolutely wonderful. The priest gives such good homilies that it actually makes me love getting up early and taking the hour-long drive just to hear what he has to say. He's had some very insightful theological facts that I wouldn't have otherwise realized without his insight. But one thing that particularly strikes me, and will answer the question of, Paul, why do you have an image of Galeem up, of all things? It's because the music is really glorious, and I think the Galeem music in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is about as glorious as how I would envision the music of this parish. Like, the Gloria is just so beautiful that I thought, man, if only I could record this, then this could be in Smash Brothers because this is so good. So it's got great music, a great priest, a great atmosphere. Now I just wish I could stay longer more times so I can experience, from what I've been told, the great people there. As most of you know, I used to have really bad aquaphobia, but thanks to several good friends of mine, I finally was able to overcome that aquaphobia and managed to go swimming quite a lot, to the fact where it's become practically a weekly occurrence. So I'm really thankful that the house that I moved to has a swimming pool that only costs $2 for a day pass, and we also have a lake that's within walking distance. So if I'm really desperate to go swimming without paying a whopping $2, I could just go down to the lake and do it. And if you're wondering why Shulk and Pyra are represented, I wanted to have a male and a female in a swimsuit, but I thought Zero Suit Samus might be considered too sexual. I mean, Pyra kinda is too, but only if you're looking for it with the way that they designed her in Smash. So Hopefully that gives you an idea of how comfortable I've gotten with not only my own body, but with being able to see other people in swimsuits and not freak out. This isn't the first time that I've been able to face my fear of the water, but it is the first time that options to go swimming have been this convenient. On the same day, we had both Neo: The World Ends With You and the great Ace Attorney Chronicles released, which made for a heck of a time for me trying to play both at once and try to switch back and forth between them and make sure that I wasn't playing one for too long because I was excited for the other. It was a mess, but boy were those games great, so I figured since they released on the same day, might as well put them both in this video. So, Neo: The World Ends With You was a long-awaited sequel to The World Ends With You. The name probably didn't do it any favors. It sounds like it's a remake rather than a sequel. It had a lot of the same great characters from the original, plus a fairly decent cast of new characters. I know in my review I said that they were as fleshed out as the original characters. In retrospect, not really, but I still liked the new characters. They had enough quirks to feel like it fit in the world of The World Ends With You, and all of the remaining characters that were in the first game that came back, they were all voiced by their original actors, and the gameplay was just really good too. Like, it was a lot of fun to have up to 6 people at a time going around in the battle, and each one was like assigned to a different button, so it sort of felt like my hands were getting a workout trying to press all the different buttons. So overall, I kind of maybe wish that I could play it a little bit longer, or try to replay it so that I can try to dissect that really confusing story. But overall, I still found that I had a blast with Neo when it happened, and my memories of it were great. Hopefully I can make the memories even better once I get around to actually replaying it. But for now, I'm just so happy that this sequel exists. And now we have the great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which is a collection of 2 games that were originally Japan only, that are finally coming to the United States in English and, well, actually playable in a state that doesn't involve downloading or emulation or any of that stuff. Overall, it felt like it was another Ace Attorney game, but less satirical and much more serious. This is another example of a game that I'll probably have to replay because, again, it came out the same day as Neo: The World Ends With You, so there's a lot of double duty going on. But one thing that's really cool about this remake is that they give you the option to play a story mode, which allows the game to play itself, which admittedly is kind of slow, but it's good if I don't want to have to get out my brain and say, oh no, I forgot what the contradiction is in this statement. So I can just sit back, relax, and let the game play itself. Overall, if you're wanting to get into the Ace Attorney series and you're kind of turned off, like wondering, this is one of the latest games, this is actually the earliest game in the timeline, taking place roughly 100 to 200 years before the main titles, so it's very standalone, very easy to jump into. And the Switch version brings in oodles of extras, from beta tunes to additional movies that you can watch to artwork and even developer commentary. So if you are a newbie to the Ace Attorney series, and if this is good enough, then there's even a whole bundle on the eShop called the Ace Attorney Turnabout Bundle. So you got no excuse. The spiky-haired lawyer and his ancestor are waiting for you. This is a cliched joke by now, but I have no objections if you download it. Most of you know that my favorite video game is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. However, what I bet you didn't know is that my favorite franchise is the Zero Escape series, done by the legendary Kotaro Uchikoshi in the company Spike Chunsoft. Unfortunately, none of these games are on a Nintendo console. However, the next best thing is that I got my friend and fellow YouTuber Pegasus Angel to stream all 3 games in their entirety, practically 100%, because, man, 999's flowchart was pretty confusing to her. I'm just really thankful that someone was willing to not only play my favorite franchise, but put it all on YouTube, and then her audience can say, whoa, what's this new game you're playing? And I could say, welcome to the Zero Escape universe! Hopefully I can cover up all the names on the side, because this was a live stream, but I'm just beyond floored that she decided to stream this game, and, you know, I bought it for her, so maybe you could say that that was a little bit of blackmail, but It's unreal, guys. Go check her out. Maybe check out her playlists if you want to see me fanboying a whole lot. But either way, if you're mature enough, you definitely deserve to give the Zero Escape series a try. No, they didn't come out in 2021, but her streams did. So I say that it counts by a technicality.
Thank you. Oh, crud. Okay, cool. I don't want to meet you.
What?
What's that voice?
Spoopy. Oh boy, it's Zero, the captain of the ship. Oh jeez.
This is that guy in the gas
Oh
mask.
no!
One of the benefits of going to Pegasus Angel's streams is that she doesn't stream alone. It's not like it's just me and her blabbing a whole lot. She has a dedicated following. And one of those followers goes by the name of Peggle. She has her own YouTube channel and a Twitch channel, so you can go check her out if you want to. And one thing I'm really appreciative of besides her videos is actually her Discord server, which I'll leave it to her if she wants to invite you guys or not, whether she trusts you. But I really appreciate how it's a small group on her Discord server, but it's large enough where I feel like I've got good camaraderie, while at the same time not feeling overwhelmed by trying to talk to too many people. Not only that, but I had so much stuff to say about several different video games that she even made a sub-post called Paul's Gaming Talk Show, where I just had a whole thread to myself to say, these are my favorite games, guys, and you should totally check them out. And then I convinced her to stream Zero Escape at some point, so that's another 2021 memory. Yes, she's not always the most family-friendly streamer, but she is one of the most friendly streamers that I've ever met, as in she will really make sure that you are welcome and that you're getting along with everyone in the group and that you're not left out. And if she doesn't do a good enough job, I moderate for her streams, so you can always come if you want to hang out more with me. In the meantime, though, we had some technical difficulties. She made a clip for this collaboration that unfortunately she wasn't able to send me, so to make up for it, here's some highlights from one of her end-of-year compilation videos that she made on her own channel, and if I have to do a part 2 to include her clip, I will. So enjoy the shenanigans. One of the hardest things about moving is trying to find a new job. Like, I had a really successful job where I used to live, and then I unfortunately had to quit it, not because I didn't like it, but because it was too far of a drive. I would have had to drive an hour there and an hour back, and then have a several-hour shift, and it just wasn't really worth it. So, in the end, I'm still looking for a full job, per se, but I do have an internship at a place known as Anytime Fitness, which has the unique hook of allowing its members, and to a certain extent its employees, to visit whenever they want, as long as they have a key fob, which is basically like a key card, to scan in front of the lock. They can go in even at 4 o'clock in the morning if they want to work out. It's very dull, routine work, but that's also what I like about it. It's the kind of work that someone like me really appreciates, rather than being behind a desk or doing boring old analytical corporate stuff. I can just pick up a duster and start dusting. Now, I don't have any cool pictures to show you, but hopefully this Smash Brothers track that I am playing gives you a little bit of a hint of what it's like to be around people that work out. Hopefully I'll get hired. Maybe by the time this video goes live, I actually will be. But for now, just keep wishing me luck and hope that this can become like my big future. Well, it's true that I gave up on Myers-Briggs this year, which itself was originally one of the memories I was going to put on this list, but due to time constraints, I felt like I had to take it out to make sure that I wasn't going too long. But one thing that was really nice was that I got so many cool people to come on my channel and talk to me, and it would just be too long if I were to try to include all of them. But just to name a few highlights of people that I got to come onto my channel, we had Dear Kristen, her sister Jenna, I don't actually remember her YouTube name off the top of my head, so that's probably silly of me. We have Art of Self-Mastery, Yoshi Perspectives, Isabelles Psychology Life Hacks. Oh, don't worry, she gets her own section coming up. And I'm so glad that all of these people took the time to just talk to me, even if it wasn't necessarily about Myers-Briggs, just the fact that they came on my channel and we got along so well. And I learned what chipper means because Kristen is, from Australia and they have different terminology. So I thought that was pretty cool to enhance my vocabulary more than it already was. So hopefully I've got a clip of one of those interviews up there for you guys so you can get a little bit of a taste, and hopefully you'll end up checking out those videos. Currently they're some of my most popular. So if you're interested in the last couple of things I had to say about Myers-Briggs, well, my channel can't do much better than these guys. Especially the Yoshi interview. Not because I'm biased towards him against the others or anything, but he just has such a unique take on Myers-Briggs that I feel like if my way of teaching about the functions was too confusing, get ready for like a whole new world of functions with him. It's honestly really cool, and any fan of psychology ought to check him out. 2020 was the year that one of my brothers got married, but one thing that's really cool about their marriage is that they actually had a kid. That means that I had my second niece. Now, my sister-in-law insisted that I not reveal my niece's name or a picture. So the picture that I'm showing you guys is from Zero Time Dilemma. It's maybe a little bit of a spoiler what that picture is, but I also really wanted to have a baby that it represented my joy of having her in my life, but at the same time it wasn't like actually her for privacy reasons. So yeah, she's not really old enough to do much or have the impact of, my friends like Megan and Cass and Danielle and Cara, but it's another person along my family line. And I almost choked up while I was saying that. It's just so cool that my brothers and their wives could have additions to their family. And I just hope that my niece turns out to be an incredibly amazing person. I mean, she already is turning out to be really incredible, but hopefully once she's old enough to walk and talk and all that cool stuff, I'll have some amazing uncle moments to talk about in the years to come. I hung out with a lot of great people in 2021, and I really don't want to make anyone feel left out in this video, but some were just really special circumstances that allowed the hangout to happen. Like, some people were really easy to reach out to. Some people I could just say, hey, you want to hang out? Yeah, cool. But some just went above and beyond in making what seemed like the impossible possible. So the next 3 entries are going to be based on 3 particular hangouts I had with my female friends that were a pain to put together, but when we did, it was such a great payoff. The first is my friend Cara, because I can tell her like literally anything. We've been friends for going on 10 years in 2022. Yeah, I know I made this list late, but what can you do with computer problems? And we even took a video of us talking about how, despite her being married and us going through so many different challenges, including me going through depression for the first 4 years of our friendship, we've still managed to persevere and hang out. And she was one of the people instrumental in helping me get over my fear of the water. So for that, I really have to thank her. Again, due to technical difficulties, I wasn't able to get the actual video into this video, but hopefully once she's able to get it to me, then I'll make like a whole separate video on YouTube with the whole entire video in its entirety. So hopefully when this is done recording, I can edit in an earlier interview I did on my YouTube channel, and you can at least see what she looks like and how she communicates, and maybe get a chuckle out of some of the things I had to say, because man, do I always know how to catch her off guard with my humor.
I'm always late for everything, so I think that's a different personality tendency of optimism, I think. But I always think I have more time than I do. That's why I'm chronically late. I'm like, I can maximize this amount of time because I'm planning it. I'm just not planning the extra drive time in all the time. So I think that I forgot the question.
Yet another great hangout that seemed wild that we managed to get it to work was hanging out with Danielle and Matt. In particular, Danielle I have known since 2011. And we decided, you know what? Every single year I celebrate my friendversary with Cara. Yes, I came up with that phrase well before Facebook did. I ought to have had it copyrighted, but I didn't. Oh well. And so Danielle and I decided, hey, it's about time we do that. So Matt recorded us painting rocks. Well, technically he took pictures of the finished product. And we also got to read live me opening a letter that Danielle wrote to me to express her enjoyment of our friendship. And we got to talk about how we have survived despite her getting married. It seems like a lot of my female friends love to get married, but they also love to continue having me in their life all the same. And man, Danielle is something else. Despite being married, she still calls me her favorite person. And I know what she's actually trying to say, and that is a sign of a good friendship right there, is that anyone else would say, no, wait a minute, Paul, you don't think that means, but the fact that we know what it means we have that secret communication that's only possible between really good friends, and I'm just so honored that I have her in my life. I wish I could express it more, but hopefully this video will do a good enough job in expressing how I feel about her.
And I was standing on the right side of the table, facing towards the exit doors. And it was like 7 o'clock at night, so it was kind of like that odd, dusky twilight type of thing. The light was shining in, and all of a sudden Danielle bursts in and says, oh my gosh, I know you, because you're the guy that makes all those awesome Facebook posts on that Facebook page. And I said, yeah, that's me, all right. And ever since then, we've been best of buddies.
Yeah, I don't have that good of a memory, but I do remember that day, though. It was twilight, we had the whole mass was outside, and I just remember meeting you, and you were just like your posts. Like, you were exactly the same way, and just instantly I feel like we just became friends.
The final hangout I want to mention in this video, among the several ones we had, is when I hung out with Megan and Cass. Now, the reason why this is so special is because they live so far away. Like, even back when I lived in my old house, they were incredibly far of a drive to get to. And then I would usually only see them once or twice a year on these retreats that we went on. And thanks to 2020 being the year that it was, we didn't really see each other at all, except over, like, video chats. So, once 2021 sort of eased up on the whole pandemic stuff, we were finally able to have a three-way hangout. And even though we didn't get too much footage of our actual hangout, they were able to take a video of me at the lake teaching people how to overcome their fear of the water. We got a picture together, which surprisingly, we never actually did that. Like, we had a group picture on the retreat of everyone, but we never had a picture of just us three. And I feel like we're like the three musketeers. Admittedly, we don't get to hang out much because of the distance gap, but Cass said that she wanted to include Megan in all of our future hangouts just because of how special she is to both of us. And I'm just so honored that both of them could make it over and try out the lake. And Cass doesn't even know how to swim, so that's really brave of her to be willing to try the water with me. And she also managed to find a really cute swimsuit that wasn't sexual, but yet still, like, really adorable. So, I love it when I have great friends like that.
And now, I'm facing my fears, going in the water. I've even got two of my friends here. Some of them are a bit camera shy, but they wanted to step in for a cameo.
2021 finally marked the end of an era. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was finally completed. No more spirit battles, no more updates, no more characters. In 2021, we got Pyra and Mithra as one character that was interchangeable, Kazuya Mishima from the Tekken series, I forgot to say Pyra and Mithra were from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and then we wrapped it up with Sora from Kingdom Hearts, which a lot of people said was the perfect way to end it. I personally would have liked something with a little bit more orchestra, but that's just me. I've been told that I'm kind of an outlier. I'm really just glad that the game is actually finished, that it wasn't just going to go on indefinitely, and it allows for me to do a lot of the spirit battles that you're seeing in this video. Just allows me to be really creative and express myself through the characters and through the stages, and to have a finalized roster rather than creating one and then be like, shoot, I didn't wait for the final character, there could have been a better combination. So it's just great that a game can be completed, and I hope if there's ever a Smash 6 that it'll be completed right then and there and we won't have to wait several years for its DLC to come out. Now, I did say at the start of this video that I didn't want to put these memories in any particular order because I didn't want to make people feel left out. However, these next two are placed on the list because of how mind-blowing it was to not only get the clips that I'm about to show you guys from these amazing people, but just the fact that they exist in my life at all. Like, yes, it's hard to hang out with people like Cass and Megan and Cara, and like, you know, they live pretty far away, but these guys live in other states, and like, man, it is really, really hard to communicate with someone over the States. You have to really coordinate phone calls and video chats and email addresses and Twitter pages. So the first person I want to talk about here, and also the second to last on this entire list, is none other than Isabelles Psychology Life Hacks. She's done a really good job making her channel just consistently good editing, but that's old news. I already apparently watched her channel in 2020. What's new is that we actually did a couple of collaborations together back when I was still into Myers-Briggs, and honestly, it still stands up really well. The video where she reacts to me, or she tries to take the test as me, still really holds up even to non-Myers-Briggs viewers. Like, you could take it as, wow, Paul, this girl hasn't even met you, and yet she knows you so well? Of course, what she thinks of me is a little bit divided, so I'll go ahead and show you what she really thinks, and then you can make up your mind from there. But whatever you do, make sure to check out her YouTube channel, especially if you like DIYs and psychology, because psychology and DIY channels are one in a million, but not too many of them are recommended by me, and you know how brutally honest I am.
And that's the story of how I saved the world twice. Yeah, those are really cool stories. By the way, I ran across this YouTube channel the other day. It's called the Catholic Gaming Nerd. Have you heard of that channel?
Oh, yes, I do. I actually...
Then you know how terrible it is. I mean, who can talk about a bunch of, like, games and psychology and stuff? I mean, so boring. And the guy, Paul, oh my goodness, don't even get me started.
He is so boring, so conceited, no charisma at all. Absolutely no talent.
Well, I think that. And that hair of his, I mean, why is it so long? Just get a barber already. Seriously, YouTube should not even allow channels like that. It's a disgrace to the platform.
Well, I actually enjoy...
Listen, girl, I gotta get going. A lot of important things to do, you know. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Sure, yeah,
Good evening, my friends. This is Paul, and today I'm here to tell you about myself. And finally, 2021 was where a borderline miraculous occurrence happened. And that was that I met these two wonderful young ladies on my very first mission trip named Monica and Reba. And all they really did was we were eating dinner and they saw that I was eating by myself and they went over to go sit with me. And that in and of itself ended up changing my life because I was going through a really hard time with females in my life and I was ready to just get rid of them altogether. So I said a prayer while I was still by myself, asking that I would never see another female again, as evidenced by this video. That didn't happen. But especially those two really got me back on track, and a lot of the females that you're seeing in this video wouldn't have had half of the impact on me if it wasn't for Monica and Reba. But not only was I able to get back in contact with them, but they both agreed to give their perspectives on our first meeting. So, in this video of amazing occurrences and miraculous happenings, I thought the most appropriate way to end this would just be to let Monica and Reba take over and have them tell you their perspectives on meeting me, and just hope that their advice to you guys helps you to not go through what I did and to be the best versions of yourself. So until the next time, keep the faith, stay epic, God bless, and I hope your 2021 was as great as mine. Bye!
Hello, my name is Reba Reynolds. I met Paul when I was, I think, 16 years old. So it was a long time ago. I'm 26 now. And I just recently reconnected with him, which has been really, really awesome. But I met Paul when we were at a church youth group camp called Catholic Heart Work Camp. And I was with one of my very best friends. Her name is Monica. And we were going to eat dinner. And I don't remember if I saw Paul first or if Monica did, but we both decided that we would go sit with him for dinner. He didn't have anyone else sitting with him and he seemed to be really upset. So we wanted to go make a new friend and comfort him and let him know that he had people that he could hang out with. I'm so glad that we did, because now I got to meet a really, really, really cool soul, and it ended up helping him, which was really amazing. We learned a lot about Paul, a lot about him. He was extremely open, which was amazing. And I also learned that he had a fear of water and some other things that he's, struggled with, and he's overcome them, which I think is so incredible that he's worked so hard to do all that. He's so kind and has such a light about him, which is just amazing and just goes to show that God is faithful.
Hello to Paul's friends and community. My name is Monica Ziak, and I met Paul at Catholic Heart Work Camp many moons ago, years and years ago, over a decade ago, actually. And Catholic Heart Work Camp is something I went on with my Catholic church. We went to every year we would go to a different city and basically work in the area, work on homes, help those out who need the help, who couldn't afford getting their house redone, things like that. And so that's what we were there for. We were basically helping out the less fortunate in that community and either redoing their house or painting it. They might be older, they might not be able to do it themselves, they might not be able to have the means to afford it or to hire someone. So that's what Catholic Heart Work Camp is. And when I met Paul was when we were in the cafeteria and I was with my best friend Reba. I had known Reba for a long time, and basically we were eating lunch or dinner and we had noticed Paul was sitting by himself. I think I had noticed him sitting by himself days before that as well, and something came over me or over Reba and I to where we thought, let's go talk to him and sit by him and see what he's like and get to know him a little bit. So we went on over there and introduced ourselves to him, and he introduced himself to us. And I think he might have been a little taken aback at first just because we were strangers and we didn't know each other, but he was so great to talk to and so nice. And we have just kept in touch over all these years and formulated a great relationship, friendship, and I'm so glad that we stayed in touch. And Paul says to me often that the fact that we went over there to talk to him and give him attention in the time of day
in a positive way has really changed his life. So that's changed my life. Just hearing that, that makes me feel awesome. And if I don't have any other purpose in life that God has created for me, then I know that that is an amazing purpose in life, because he frequently tells me that I saved his life by going to sit with him and talk with him. And he felt so appreciated that day because he didn't have awesome relationships or interactions with women before that. And he said that that really opened his eyes positively to females, and it made him feel a lot better about females and about himself. So if I were to give advice to others in his situation, I would just say, know that you're not alone. If there's anything you're going through, just know that you will get through it. Do things that make you feel better about yourself, that make you happy. Invest your time in those resources. If video gaming makes you happy, or working out, or being outside in the sunshine and nature, do those things to really add joy and peace and positivity into your life. And the second thing I would say is be open to people who genuinely are acting like they care about you and want to help you. I know it can be scary at first, but really just be receptive to that and be open to it. And if you're a believer like Paul and I are, pray to God, tell him what you need. He's going to listen to you, and he's going to do what's best for you in life and what's according to his plan. So just trust in God, trust in yourself, trust in other people. There are a lot of good people out there in the world, and just don't give up on what it is that your goal is, or what you might want to change about yourself, or something you're trying to overcome or get through. Just do not give up and stay positive and strong, and know how special you are. There is not another person in this world that is like you. You are so special and amazing, and remember that about yourself. So that's what I wanted to say. And again, I am Monica Ziak and a friend of Paul's, and I hope everyone out there enjoys this video. Bye-bye.